All right. Hope everybody's having a great evening. We are live with Sharon Dickey. We are so excited to
This is
have her in
exciting.
the building. Closing out our month of the Heart and Mind series. I'm so excited. I am Sharon Dickey, Christopher, your dream encourager. I'm holding this series in honor of Mental Health Month. You might hear Fred in the back. I'm just really moved by what he's saying about give us a clean heart. It definitely can translate into our minds too, right? So, that just hit me today. I wanted to put that on there while people come in. I hope you can hear me, but I may not see your comments right away. I am using a platform called StreamYard. So immediately when you begin to comment, I may not see you or the name, but it will pop up and I will do my best to answer every question, respond to your statements as we get into this wonderful topic of heart and mind. How you doing, Sharon?
I am doing good. So, how do I share a link
Okay.
with my
Go.
people, or what
Yeah.
do I do?
Okay. So go to where you see it live on Facebook. You should either be on my page or on At Dreams Global. So you should see it pop up live. And once it's live, then you go ahead and press that share button. And that's for everybody
Oh,
out there. If you are
yes.
out there and you're watching, you know that the Heart and Mind series has already been a blessing to you. Or if you want to know what this is about and you believe somebody else could, benefit from learning how mental health and relationships actually really affect us, go ahead and press that share button. We're welcoming you here Thursday, May 27th. Man, this month has went by fast.
Oh
We've had
my
some
God.
amazing, amazing speakers. I can't believe June is right around the corner. So we started out with the wonderful Roxanne Postel, and she's a mental health strategist and just broke down how your brain could be broken. We need that healed. And then we moved on to the relationship scientist who told us, Dr. Sims, Rael Sims, he said, your heart can physically feel like it needs medicine, like aspirin can actually, it's the same, a physical cut is how heartbreak feels. And then last week with Dr. Renee, we got into the communication styles that's necessary. Man, in relationships, we don't know what's in store with Sharon today, but we know it's going to be phenomenal. We know it's phenomenal. So with no further ado, we are going to go ahead and jump into Sharon Dickey. Yay! I want you to share with the people who you are and why you chose this field.
Well, thank you so much, Sharonda, for inviting
Yes,
me to be one of
absolutely.
your guest speakers. I am highly honored. But I
Yes.
am Sharon Dickey. I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor here in Wilmington. I work for an agency, it's a community based agency called Coastal Horizons.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I do. Why did I
Yeah,
get into this field? I believe I was called into this field. So I
love
do
it.
have a bachelor's in psychology from North Carolina A&T State University. Aggie
Aggie
Pride.
Pride.
Where my Aggies at? I hope I get an Aggie
Oh,
Pride in the
I
comments today.
know. It'll start rolling, trust me. No way it won't roll.
Right? But yeah, so I got my in psychology way back in 1998. I
Mhm.
started to go to grad school. I tried to,
Okay.
but me not being
Okay.
familiar with financial aid, Norfolk State messed up my financial aid, and then I wasn't making good choices back then, and I didn't go.
Gotcha.
So through my
Gotcha.
journey of being a cosmetologist, bartended, I'm a certified health and wellness coach.
Wow.
Excuse me. Through all these things, I found myself pouring into people wanting to
Mm.
come to me, not because I did the best doobie, but because I was able to listen to them and to,
Mm.
kind of guide them into their own answers and their own
Yes.
realization. So that's what
Yes.
I do so, after a 10-year wait, I decided to just
Love.
go ahead and step into what I know I need to be into. So here
That's
we are.
right. Yay! So with that being said, everybody, she said it was a 10-year wait. Delay is never denial. She still did it, right? And so that's what we
Absolutely.
want to encourage everybody to do today. And that's why she's here with me. So we actually had the privilege of meeting each other just recently, but I have known of
Mhm.
Sharon for a while because like when you know a person they speak of themselves even without being in a room. Does that make any sense? And so she has been spoken of highly. And I know that because of that, her profession just models the same thing. So I'm so excited to have met you. So excited to hear everything you're going to share tonight. And and so thankful that you are here with us tonight. So within this time when you were doing doobies and you were, you know, helping people get health and, you know, helping in the community, obviously they kept reaching out to you. What came up often, maybe, that has something to do with relationship or mental health? Anything ring a bell that, you know, might be coming up often?
I think the most common trend that I can say is depression, you know, dealing with depression, especially moms feeling overwhelmed. We have that postpartum depression that nobody wants to acknowledge. We have stigma in our community where we feel like we can talk to our hairdresser, but we can't go see a therapist, you know? And then if we don't just only pray, then that's a contradiction to our spirituality, which is completely incorrect. So depression is going to come up a lot. Post-traumatic stress disorder, so PTSD, came up a lot. I did a lot of work with veterans. So my dad and other people, other veterans that I know, helping them to acknowledge, because it's a hard thing to acknowledge that, hey, these symptoms actually mean something. You went through a traumatic experience and you really need to see something about it. So I was able to help quite a few people in their process of going to see a therapist for their trauma through the military, and then also getting their benefits, right? The government needs to be there. So that's right. Helping out with those things too. So I would say, depression, PTSD, and then relationships. So I'm so excited to talk about this topic because it's one of my favorites. You know, relationships. How do we deal in relationships?
Absolutely. So when we spoke, we were talking about how we've been lovers of love forever, right? And no matter the ups and downs, the in-betweens, the turns, if it's in you, it is in you. And it is like our God-given desire to help others in that way. And so if you're talking about depression and PTSD, and sometimes PTSD, and you can correct me, might not even just be for military people, right? Can you suffer from PTSD if you're just like living just regular civilian life? You've experienced or seen something and you're dealing with that. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I'm actually a trauma trained therapist. I'm rostered with TSD. But you absolutely. So anything that you have ever experienced in your life that was scary or extremely difficult or challenging for you, where you felt like you may have lost your life or someone close to you may have lost their lives, then absolutely, you can get a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. From that, here in Wilmington, we have a lot of hurricanes, right? So experiencing a natural disaster is something that you can get a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder from as well. A lot of people are misplaced from their homes from that last hurricane before last. And it was very traumatic for them. Also, sexual abuse, sexual assault. Those are other things that people experience where they can develop PTSD.
Right. Yeah, I definitely wanted to hit on that because somebody might be dealing with it right now and don't know. You know what I'm saying? And so they might take it into a relationship and really are scaring their partner, their spouse, you know, people in their family because they're not dealing with it. And like you said, and I love the way you said this, if somebody could type it, would be excellent. In our community, it's okay to talk to our hairdressers, but we fear then going to talk to a counselor. And either way, you're seeking help. So go ahead and seek it from somebody that's been trained. Talk to your hairdressers too. I mean, listen, but I like that. I really do, because it's like, we're still talking. Let's get the help that we need. And that's why we're here. So so if you're dealing with something, maybe you lost something, Sharon's here. She's going to share how you can reach out to her so you can deal with some of this thing. You know, let's deal with it, y'all. All right. So we're talking about relationships, right? So what is a big conception when you're talking about either being depressed of a relationship, you just got out of one, or we both experienced like marriages that did not, work as the way we wanted them to. So tell me this, what's the biggest misconception when we're talking about relationships and mental health in that aspect?
Wow. So I would say one of the misconceptions would be maybe the partner, so partner or spouse may not have felt like they were able to help a person with the mental illness.
Yeah.
So we try to fix things, right? So I'm divorced, but if I was currently married and my husband was going through something,
right,
taking myself out of the therapist realm, I would want to fix it for him, right?
Of course.
I want to fix him. I want to make sure that he's okay and he's whole. I want to fix it. But one thing that I suggest that we do is to acknowledge and connect with the person before we go into fix it mode, right?
Wow.
Because you can't fix it. You can't fix it.
Right.
You need to acknowledge what the person is going through, and then you need to connect with them.
Yes, right. Okay. Wow. Somebody said right. And, trained help is important. I love that. I want to stay there just for a little bit, because we would feel like we could fix it. And you just said you would take yourself out of therapist mode, because as a therapist, you might have tools and the skills. But as a regular everyday person, such as myself, I could possibly be doing more harm, right, if I don't connect first and understand what would be the first thing to do to connect with somebody that might have a mental health issue.
Yeah, so the importance of acknowledging and connecting with the person instead of going into fixing mode is because if you try to, like you said, you may be doing more harm. So if I want to fix it, I would probably say, hey, let's just go exercise. Exercise. I heard that and I'm not speaking as a clinician because I know better. Right. But I was a clinician would probably say, hey, let's just go exercise. I heard that improves your mood. Let's just get out and get some sun. Let's just go do something. And you're not connecting with that person, so you haven't taken a moment to listen to them.
Right. Okay.
So acknowledge that they're dealing with something, and there's different situations. So in a relationship, either you already know you have a mental illness before you get into that relationship, and you're making your partner or spouse aware that you have one, right? So you need to listen and connect with them and actually hear them so that you can understand what their needs are. And then you have the person who you're in this happy relationship, right? And then all of a sudden one day, and actually there's a buildup, but you start noticing signs where they no longer want to do the things that they used to love to do with you. They're pushing away from you. They're pushing away from the kids. They're pushing away from everybody, and they're isolating themselves. So when these things happen so sudden in the relationship that was so happy and perfect, it's important to acknowledge that something is going on with them, because you've seen the signs. You probably just ignored them.
Yeah. Right.
And then acknowledge it. So admit it to yourself. And then we want to make the other person comfortable, right? So we want to make them comfortable, and we want to connect with them. I hear you. I understand that you are going through something. I don't know what that feels like, but I want to help you with that. And this is when that test of love comes in, right? So for the people who love, you know, how down for love are you when your spouse is acting completely different, or your partner is acting completely different than what you signed up for? Right. So after 10 years, after 10 years, all of a sudden, this thing happens. Well, mental health is just like physical health and spiritual health. So if you came down with the disease, the same way that you would be there for that person if they had a disease, is the same way you need to be there for them if they had a mental health. If they lost a limb or something, it's the same way you would have to, how deep is this love? For better or for worse? Are we still down for better or for worse at this point? Because when you have a mental illness, you don't look like something is wrong. Just
Right.
looking at
Right.
you look able-bodied, everything looks fine. What's
Right.
wrong with you? Get off the couch, let's go. Get a bat, get a mitt,
Right.
get in the game, let's go. You know,
Right.
but it's
Right.
not that
Right.
easy. It's not that easy to
Right.
get off
Right.
the person that is dealing with the illness.
Okay, so I have to ask this question. It's a little off the cuff, but I have to ask, what if they don't know that they're dealing with a mental illness? You see things changing, they're unaware that it's mental health. Maybe they're just not, they just don't feel good, or they just feel tired, maybe just fatigue. You know, they're just changing and they're not allowing themselves to connect because of the change. How can you help at that point? Is there
Yeah,
help at that point?
absolutely. There are many
Okay.
times when the person that is experiencing the mental health issue don't realize it. They just know that
Okay.
they don't quite feel themselves, but
Right.
especially if they are not in the mental health realm or deal with it, you won't
Mm-hmm.
automatically think, "Oh, I got a mental something wrong in my mind."
Right. It's
But
true. That's true.
but this is where I say to that person, trust the people around you. Your boyfriend, your
Mm-hmm.
husband, your partner, someone has
Mm-hmm.
said something to you. Hey, I'm noticing you don't get off the bed until 12 now. What's going on? Or
Right.
did you shower today? You know,
Right.
so some of
Right.
these things, people will start asking you questions. Or your mom
Okay.
might come and be like, hey, I haven't spoken to you in a week. We talk every day. What's going on? So
Right.
people will
Right.
start seeing the signs if they are
Mm-hmm.
tuned in to you and paying attention to you.
Right. Right.
Um, and then just listening. So listening to the people around you when
Okay.
they say something, and these people have to be close to you and you know they know
Yeah.
you. So if they
Right.
say, hey
Right.
Sharon, something ain't right, what's going
Mm-hmm.
on,
Mm-hmm.
we need to be open enough
Right.
to receive that information
Mm-hmm.
and then consider, seeking out help. Your
That's
first
right.
person that you're going to go to when you're not feeling well
Mhm.
is your
Right.
doctor. You can
Yeah.
absolutely go to your family practitioner. Hey, I haven't been feeling well. My bestie, she actually pointed out to me that, I'm just really not myself lately. And she's
Right.
she's right. She's right. And then
Right.
share with them honestly, because we'll go to the
Mm-hmm.
doctor, especially in
Yeah.
the Black community. We'll go to
Right.
the
Right.
doctor and be like, no, I'm fine. I'm good.
Right.
Knowing good
Right.
well, you are not, okay?
Right.
You're
Right.
not good at
Right.
all.
Right.
You haven't been good for probably a year by the time you finally go to the doctor to tell them about it. But go to your primary care doctor and they will notice the signs. Even they can, let you know, hey, it sounds
Okay.
like you may have depression. They can even prescribe you medication if that's
Yeah.
something that you want to do.
Wow.
And
You know
that
what?
person will
That
refer
we
you to a therapist.
That is so good to know. Sharon, I was not aware of that. I was not aware that a regular doctor could recommend, that you see a therapist, or tell you that. I never really even thought about it. So that's dope to know. If anybody's out there and somebody has been saying, you're not getting up a lot, you used to be happy and bubbly, maybe you're not. Or if you keep hearing it over and over again, like Sharon said, if you don't even want to go to a therapist first, go to your general practitioner, she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing stuff. And that's why I'm so glad you're here, because they can possibly, I don't know if they can diagnose you, but they could give you some suggestions so that you can go to a therapist. And so don't wait. Obviously, the people around you who love you are going to have your back. So the one thing I heard was you got to be authentic. You got to say, okay, I heard it more than once,
Yeah.
and I have to be free to share when I'm at the doctor. That's good stuff.
You do.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to see something.
Doctor,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your primary care doctor will notice the signs and symptoms. They
Mm-hmm.
not so much diagnose like a clinical diagnosis, but they'll say, hey,
Right.
it sounds like you have depressed mood. But
Right.
another piece to that, because I'm also a health and wellness coach, so I have to go there because
Okay.
I believe I integrate the two. So I integrate my therapy and holistic teachings.
Nice.
Sometimes your vitamins and minerals can be off. Your hormones can be out of whack. Your testosterone might be low. Things can happen in your body where your doctor can do a little test and say, oh, your vitamin D is deficient, or you're out of, whatever is out of balance. And that may be causing your depressed mood. Once you
Wow.
fix that medical issue, then you're fine. So you really don't need a diagnosis of depression because you really don't have that.
Right.
Your body was just out of whack.
Right.
Especially for moms. I say this to like new moms all the time because I actually dealt with postpartum depression, and I was able to say to myself, I didn't think I'd go through it, but I know I'm definitely in the middle of postpartum right now. But you know, my family was a support system for me. But you know, therapists tend to think that we can therapize ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Help us. But you know, I was able to get myself through it. But a lot of people don't have that knowledge to do that. So it's very important for new moms because when you have that baby, it depletes your body of everything. Yeah. That's why people out here saving their placenta and eating it so they can get all those nutrients back. But that baby, and I had two at one time, they literally suck the life out of you. They take everything from you. So expect to be out of whack by the time you done had kids. If you have had multiple kids and maybe you didn't experience, you know, any type of depressed mood with the first 2 or 3, you know, maybe on child 3, 4, or 5, it may be different for you this time. So yeah, we have to make sure and rule out a medical issue first, which your primary care doctor can do. And if they think it's, you know, more than that, they can absolutely refer you to a therapist.
Man, you have dropped some gems up here. Wow. So I'm going to read some comments really quickly. So Roxanne said that's good to acknowledge, you know, what that person may be going through if, you know, you are in partnership with someone that's have mental health issues at the time. And Quintana said it was a good question. Maybe referring to how we can help our spouses or partners. And Roxanne also said that's good. For better, for worse, when someone has a mental health illness, they don't look like something is wrong. So we got to make sure, because you're right. You're like, hey, just get up, Barrett, you know. And Jerome said, hello, what's up, Jerome? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Jerome Hart, he said hello. And Roxanne said that even happened to her. I'm believing like maybe a physical thing was going on and maybe it's giving her a depressed mood. You all can you know, let me know if I'm hitting it right or not. And once again, thank you all for joining. We're here with Sharon Dickey, licensed counselor, and she is letting us know, therapist, she is helping us with mental health and relationships. And she's hit us even with the medical side, y'all, how we can go to our doctors and they could let us know maybe it's a depressed mood. She's letting us know from the health and wellness side if maybe our vitamins or something's been depleted and making us feel all before a diagnosis is necessary from a clinician. This is some amazing things because people are walking around hurting other people and they don't know that they are because they're hurting. And they don't know how to put their finger on it because it's not a broken arm. It might be that broken brain or that broken heart. And that's why we're here. And so thank you for sharing all that you've shared already. Yes, okay, Ryson says, yes, that we were on it. So let's talk about this. Advice. Okay, so you told how we can help, what we can do to acknowledge and connect, which is huge. If anybody's out there, y'all can type that, acknowledge and connect. Okay, but what's your best advice to give to those thinking about entering a relationship, not one that's already in it? What can you talk to them about when you're thinking about getting into a relationship that you want long term?
So are you the person with the mental health issue, or you are getting in a relationship with the person that has it?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'm laughing because it sounds weird. But it's true. You would not get on a basketball team with somebody with 2 broke legs. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't. Well, you might, but you might send them on or something. So I'm sorry. You keep going. I'm sorry.
So depending on who you are, and you know what, the lover of love conquers all. So I have seen YouTube got some stuff on there. I've seen some odd couples on the YouTube. So you know what? I may love him with his 2 broke legs, you know, or his depression or his PTSD. And I know full and well that he has it before I enter into this committed relationship. I would say either way, You have to educate yourself. So you have to educate yourself so that you know either how to support your partner who has a mental illness, or you have to educate yourself about your own mental illness so that you are not putting this person on a roller coaster ride, right? So if you have a mental illness and you already know you have it and you want to enter into this relationship with someone, I can imagine that would make you feel a little nervous, a little anxious. There's such a huge stigma still on mental health, to where it's not normalized and we don't feel comfortable just sharing it with people. Like, we don't put a stamp on our forehead saying depression, walking, right? Your life. We don't do that. So we are wanting to, when we find this love, right? Because it's going to be a sacrifice. So you don't want to put this on somebody willy-nilly. This is something that has to be handled with care. Has to be handled, so like a white glove situation. It has to be handled with care. When you find that person that you love and you trust and you want to be in this relationship with them, please make sure that you are doing the work yourself, because there's going to be work that has to be done on both sides. So your work looks like, with the mental illness, it looks like being able to already know what your triggers are. So what are your triggers? What is something that's going to send you into a depressed mood? What's something that's going to send you into high anxiety? What's something that's going to send you into hyperarousal with your PTSD? What are your triggers? What are your trauma reminders? You know, you should know these things before you enter into a relationship with someone, because you're going to have to communicate with them. They don't know. They're walking into this blind and probably have never dealt with this before. You have to educate yourself, and then you'll be educating them as well. Now, the person that you are without a mental illness, but you're about to get into this relationship with the guy with the two broke legs, right? Bless his heart, he's cute too. He's cute.
Right, he's gotta be fine.
He's so kind. My God, his heart is made of gold. I can't pass him up. This is where God wants me to be, right? Okay. So we here with this guy, and let's just say depression is just the topic of the day. I'm noticing some things about him, right? So I don't know if he knows he got something wrong, but I'm picking up what he's putting down. I'm seeing some things. Okay. This is where the education comes in. Maybe you can say, hey, noticing some things about you. Can we talk about it? Can we have this honest conversation? And make sure you lead with love. So you always want to lead with love. Anytime you are leading with love, people will see your heart, and they will know that you truly care about them and you want the best for them. So that's important. Right. And let's just say, you already know that he has PTSD. Okay. 4th of July, y'all stay at the house. Okay. So you cannot go into this relationship with this guy that you already know did 25 years in the military. He got his PTSD, or whatever has happened to him, traumatic, and expect to have just a quote unquote normal, I don't like to use that word, but everyday relationship. There's going to be some things to come with it. So you got to be committed to the love and to that person, and then educate yourself. Okay, well, I know that, do some reading, read up on whatever their diagnosis is. Maybe you might want to do couples therapy. I strongly believe that should happen. That way you are learning along with them as far as how to support them. So,
this is Sharon. Listen, okay, whoever's out there tonight, seriously, if you thought about dealing, if you've even thought about someone else dealing with it, she has broken down both sides of the coin. She said, if you are the one and you are aware you have mental health issues, and listen, we all got all types of health. So let's take the stigma off of mental health. We all have a brain, praise the Lord, or you wouldn't be able to hear this loud. So I know you do. Okay, so we have a mind that we're dealing with. We have thoughts. We all have mental health. We just need to know if it's healthy in a positive way or if it's not. So let's just think about it like that. We all have mental health. Is it a good health or not? Okay. So she said, if you're aware, then you got to know those triggers. And Sharon, she said, you got to know those triggers. Absolutely. And I want to point out something. Jerome said he ain't getting on the court with somebody that got broke legs. So So let's talk about how, maybe invest in your capacity or not your preference. We gotta go. We gotta run, right? Hello, Hawanda. Thank you for coming. Love that you're here. And and it could be a sign to run. But if you do have that mental health and it's not healthy at this point, let's go ahead and figure out those triggers so that you can help your partner. You can communicate that to them, because it's going to be on them to then support you. And like you said, start and come from a place of love and know that it won't be a normalized, quote unquote, situation. But because you already say yes and you do care, it's okay, because it's your relationship. So this is, I mean, we can go to the doctor. We still got our hairdressers. We're going to do that. Okay. Our barbers, we're going to do that. But now we have people such as yourself that been in the chair, got you in their chair, and on the couch at the same time, and can tell you your vitamin D off. Y'all better hit up Sharon Dickey. She got it all covered. You hear what I'm saying? So glad. Yes. So anyway, seriously, we need to do that, because I do know that the statistics say that marriages that have mental health, they have a higher divorce rate because of the lack of knowledge on how to deal with it. And sometimes it's the lack of acknowledging that we may have it, or the lack of knowing how to support once one has. So that's why we're here. So you listen, if there was fire, like if I could do a torch, like, on the stage, it's been fired so many times tonight, and that's real. All right. So what kind of resources, beyond yourself, you're going to share how they can reach out to you, but what kind of resources can you recommend to those who are, maybe in a relationship now? You're giving advice, but you're in it already. What resources you suggest?
So if you are already in a relationship with someone who has a mental health illness, if they have not acknowledged that they have one, that can be extremely difficult, because you may feel alone. You may feel like you are in this fight alone, and they are just resistant, like they're fighting against you, is how it probably feels. Again, I would just say, find books based on whatever their illness is. Find books to give you more knowledge about it. Encourage them to go to therapy with you. That would be my first stop, to definitely get in to see a therapist. Sometimes people just need someone to go with them so that they'll feel more comfortable. They may just sit there and not say anything at all for an entire month of sessions. And that's okay. So just making them feel comfortable and supported is what's going to be most important. Get a therapist, and then you gain more information on how to be more supportive of your mate.
That's right. That's really good. That's really, really good. I want to pause right there, because from personal experience, it may not feel like you need to support someone. It may feel like they are rejecting you. It may feel like they're trying to hurt you, as you mentioned, and it may feel like you just need help for yourself. And if that's the case, while you're getting that help for yourself, because I think it's okay to do so, couple in the knowledge that Sharon is talking about in the books and the counseling and things like this, because if you're unaware, then you're unaware. And so then you begin to take it personally, and it can hurt. So not only is the person going through it, if you're not knowledgeable, you're going to be going through it too, in a way that's not healthy for either person. So go ahead and acknowledge that too. Be authentic with yourself, and make sure that you get the help you need to help, because you can't give from something you don't have, right? If you're not full, like, how do you plan to pour out? So I agree, and I'm very grateful. Hawanda says it's her pleasure to be here, and this is a great topic. I'm glad you see that and believe that. We do too. We definitely know that marriage isn't always easy, right? Relationships aren't always easy. Being with ourselves isn't always easy. Let's just be real. Okay. So sometimes I got a question, Sharonda, what, people say, you should talk to yourself, but, I definitely do. They say you should answer. They say you should answer back either, and I say it would be rude if you don't. Okay. So anyway, I'm crazy. So anyway, I don't mind. I know that mental health is a topic that I have had to deal with in the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, and it's not anything. It's not anything that I take as a bad thing. Once again, when I was in college, they made me work out. If nobody made me work out, I wouldn't have done it. I was on the team. That's why I had to get up. When I'm an adult now and I'm not on anybody's team, working out is not as fluid. Like I have to push myself to do it. And so it's the same thing with mental health. If you don't have that counselor there to push you, if you don't have that coach, you might let your mental health go and deteriorate. And it's not cool when they're available. She's right here. The other speakers are here. We are here so that you can get this together. We definitely want to help coach you into a healthy state of mind. So Roxanne said it does feel like rejection sometimes, and that hurts if you yourself have mental health issues also. Oh, wow. So wow. So if you have mental health and they don't know, that can feel like rejection also. Can you see the cycle of hurt if we don't handle it?
Absolutely.
Woo, that's rough. That's rough. Wow, you're right. And Raymond Dickey said marriage is not easy. You have to both commit to it, good or bad. Yes. Help us out, Raymond, because that's exactly why we're here. Sometimes we just don't know the tools and we feel depleted. And I think that's why it happens. And we were talking earlier about, keep me on time. Okay. We were talking about how before marriage, sometimes that can create the divorce. Like if you don't have this knowledge before, and that's why I ask the question, what's your advice beforehand? Before has a lot of weight on the during and the after. Trust and believe me. If you don't believe me, you will one day. Okay. So yes, please.
I would like to add, first of all, I like how you said, whenever you are in a relationship, even if your partner or spouse doesn't want to go to therapy, you should definitely go for yourself, because there's some healing and some strength and support that you need for yourself to go back and deal with whatever they're dishing out every day. So absolutely, you should go see your own therapist for your own mental health. Even if you don't have a mental health illness, to help you through coping with your spouse or partner that has it.
That's right.
So I love how you said that. And you absolutely should never blame yourself. So never blame yourself, because you're taking on something that's not yours, so never blame yourself for causing the mental illness. But your question just now, oh my goodness. I need my notepad so I can write down. You just asked. Oh, it was so good. What did you just ask me?
That's so funny.
If you were you saying this is what I wanted to say. So if you loving somebody, right? He's wonderful. She's wonderful. But you're not married, y'all. You're thinking about being seriously dating this person. But good and well, in your heart, good and well, you cannot handle this mental health issue that they're dealing with. Know your boundaries. Be honest.
That's
you
right.
do not have to act like Superman or Superwoman and go forth with this relationship. Don't guilt yourself into it. I love them, but know your boundaries. Know what you can handle and what you cannot handle. Because what you could be doing ultimately is blocking that person from the person they're supposed to have that can handle it, that can deal with it. That person may not just be for you.
That's
they
right.
Look shiny, they look really great, but they may not be really great for you. So don't feel guilty in any way. Like, I don't want to diss them because he has two broke legs. I'm supposed to be with a handicapped guy. No, you're probably not. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And make sure it's what you really truly want to do.
Yes.
Because you can
Yes.
really hurt that person if you go into it and then you dip out on them. In 2 years, you don't want to put up with it anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so huge. I mean, that could fill the room huge. It can fill the room. It reminds me of a YouTube couple. The young lady, she's actually in a wheelchair, and her husband and her, they do so many activities together: paint the house, renovate, go out, do vacations, because there was something on the inside of him that connected that said, "Yes, I'm the one." I actually had a consultation today, and the young lady shared with me that her husband is her blanket during her times of what she deals with. She was like, it didn't happen before, but like naturally, he's her blanket. Like that makes me almost want to cry. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so what I'm saying is that you, like you said, and Jerome just said, like I said, run. Well, run if it's not you, because if you can't do it, you're right. That like you really are keeping someone from the one. And like the couples I'm talking about, the blanket could have been taken from her, and she might have always felt guilty about it or rejected, like Roxanne said earlier. So you're absolutely right. And more so than anything, be real all the time when it has to deal with relationships. If you are so infatuated with somebody, but you know in your nowhere, piece it out. You just you. And I'm gonna just say I could say that because I just, you can rationalize and reason yourself into something that's not for you. And we're talking about the heart and the mind. Don't just use your mind. Don't even just use your heart. I believe when you're using, when it's talking about relationships, you got to use your spirit, soul, and mind. You know, you got to do all that. But we'll cover that topic. We'll cover that topic too, because I know me and Sharon are gonna be talking again. We're gonna be picking up. You can't spit all this fire and think I'm not gonna ask you to come back. So let's read some comments.
You know we can talk. I want to talk about communication, but let's get these comments first.
Oh, good. Okay, so let's talk about these comments. We're gonna go straight into communication. Diane Thomas says, "Hi, Auntie. I thank you for sharing your life with people. Ladies, keep up the great work. We have to go through to get to. God bless you, your Auntie Lady." And Lamar Miller, this is your homie right here, says he loves to 16 years married and communication is key. He says, "Hey, Sharon Dickey," and know the history of the person and even their family members. Oh, that's really good. And their family members. That's so huge. So huge. So mental health issues are generic. Wow. And Diane says, amen to what we just said, and use your eyes. You know, let's not fool ourselves. So because Lamar said communication is key, he got 16 years of marriage under his belt. Let's talk about it. Communication.
Was Lamar also the one that said mental illnesses can be genetic?
Yep.
Okay.
He was.
He is a therapist as well. Thank you for dropping that gem, co-host.
Yes, that was huge.
Yes, I want to touch
huge.
on that too. But communication, my goodness. I very recently learned a lesson in communication. And I'm big on communication, so big to where my head is big. And I think I be having it down pat, right? But no,
right.
I did not have it down pat. Sometimes in the line of communication, we assume that the other person knows. Like, of course, this is common sense to me. Okay, you should absolutely know, but the person may not know at all. So just very recently, I had to learn this communication lesson. You cannot assume on anything. You cannot assume on anything. You should always be very open and honest and transparent and let this person know, hey, this is how I'm feeling. That person cares for you If that
Right.
person loves you, that
Right.
person will want to make sure that they meet your needs. So if
Right.
you're
Right.
very open and honest with them and say, hey, you know what? I'm feeling kind of down right now. I just need
Yeah.
some time to myself,
Yeah.
away from the kids, you know,
Yes.
partner, spouse. That's when we need to step in and say, okay, I hear you. Me and
Yes.
them, I'm about to take them. We going all
Right.
day, you know,
Yes.
do what you need to
Yes.
do, meditate,
Yes.
whatever you
Yes.
need to do. All day is
Yes.
for you.
Yes.
Now, mind you, what we really
Mm-hmm.
want that person to do is to get out the bed. Okay, come help me with these kids because it's
Yeah.
Saturday. Two of them got
Yeah.
soccer. They on different
Yep.
teams. One of them
Yep.
is in a band. You know, how am I going to get all this done? I have 5 meetings on a Sunday, any
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. I mean, that's a regular Sunday for
Yeah.
me. How am I going to
Wow.
get all this done? I need you to get up, you know.
Yep. Yep.
But we have to listen to our partners, and
Mm-hmm.
we have to make sure that we are meeting their needs, and giving
Mm-hmm.
them what they need. So communication is key. The person with the mental
Yes.
illness has to be able to express what it is that they need. They may
Yes.
just, hey, I just kind of need you to listen.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a talker,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna have to shut up and listen. So you want to make sure that you give your partner what they need. If they may
Mm-hmm.
be saying some stuff that don't quite make sense, that could happen.
Right.
You know,
Right.
but you want to listen.
Right.
You want to hold that space for them. You want to let
Yeah.
them know, hey, this is a safe space no matter what. No
Right.
matter what.
Right.
This is a safe
Right.
space, and I'm here for you, to give you what you
Absolutely.
need in this moment. So
Yes. Yes. That's
communication.
awesome. Yep. Hawanda said it's important at all times. And
Yeah.
And what you were talking about, getting that time to yourself, it's going to help you stay in integrity with yourself. It's going to stay in integrity with ourselves. And we got to listen to understand, not just like hearing it's my time to talk. Yeah. Listen to understand. That's huge. And not to respond. Listen, I felt like you were trying to step on my toes just a minute ago because I am the talker. And you can tell in the interview, like I was like, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, sometimes I gotta learn not to respond so I can hear, because I really do think that I'm like, okay, that's what you said, so that's what you mean. On to the next, but it might have so many different layers I'm missing, and I have missed it many times, not on purpose, but I have. Lamar says, "What do you do if your spouse is unresponsive to seeking help for what is observed?"
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
Cover that just a little bit, but what do you do if your spouse is unresponsive is observed?
Yeah, so it cut out a little bit, but I think you said, what do you do if your spouse is unresponsive to go seek help?
Yeah.
And then you have to get help for yourself, right? So sometimes we have to lead by example. Okay, it's fine. I understand you may not want to see someone at this time. That's okay. I want to go see someone because I feel like I need to talk to somebody about this. And I'm going to be open and honest with them about that. You know, don't be sneaking on the side going to see a therapist. And then they're going to be like, oh, he going to go or she going to go talk about me. You know, no, hey, I'm going for me because I got some things that I need to talk about, some things that I need to, you know, to get clarity on. And maybe I believe this person can help me. Go for yourself.
Wow,
and then maybe when you are leading by example, your spouse will catch on, or your partner will say, hey, you know, because if you go to a therapist and you implement the tools, now mind you, I hope that you find a good therapist like me that will challenge you and hold you accountable and not just be your yes person, because some therapists will be your yes person and you've been seeing them for a whole year. And they get paid for that whole year just being your yes person. Now, you know, therapists have integrity. We don't want you to do that. But But we want to make sure if you are going to a good therapist and you are getting some tools, your spouse or partner is going to see the change in you.
Yeah, that's so good.
Handle them differently. The way that you handle yourself and your affairs and everything that you're doing is going to be different. They're going to notice that. And then they're going to change too. So whether their behavior changes a little bit, they may start asking you, you know, so what do you guys talk about when you're there? And you might come back and tell them, oh, well, I learned this new skill today, you know,
Right.
or I learned this today, or I learned, you know, you'll always get a perspective about what they're going through to help you be able to see them differently, in a better perspective, I guess I should say. So
that is
go to therapy for yourself.
I agree.
Yeah,
I will say this.
Join you.
Some people say that it's not up to the other person to make you happy. And that used to make me upset because I was like, so why would you get married for somebody to make you unhappy? But what I think they're saying is you're still responsible for you. And if they have made you feel rejected or they have issues they're dealing with and you don't know how to handle them, you literally are your only person. And I'm going to point out, Wanda said we can pray, and we got it. Like I said, we can't live out the spiritual part. Do we have a mind or heart without God giving us either? No. So we have to go to God, right? And then that's why I think he then put the skill inside of the therapist, and he put the skill inside of the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows it all works together in a system. It's a collective. But to get back to the fact, you can still be happy. I just want to speak to everybody. You can find a way to come out of a feeling of rejection and hurt and all of that yourself, even if the other person doesn't change. And that's it's very difficult to say when you're actually going through it. But if you take the steps, you can. And how would it feel like if you're in a situation, a relationship or a marriage where you really want it to work out, and you can say, this may not change, but I can, and I'm going to live happily. And that's where dreams comes from for me. Like you have to learn how to hone in the passions God has given you, because then if you take care of you, then you can go on to do something else. Like you said, be that example for your spouse. Yeah. So I had to set a pin right there. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No, I was just going to say, you're absolutely right. You cannot, first of all, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? So you have to be full yourself so that you can pour into someone else. So being able to make sure that you are mentally sound and whole is going to be very important when you're trying to support your spouse or your partner.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I promise you, it's okay. At this point, it's not about being selfish. It's actually being a part of the team if you keep yourself healthy, even if they're not. Like, don't both start going through mental health issues because of it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If you can get yourself there, it actually can help the team. So let's see what these comments are saying. Family, their best friends. Okay. I know it's going in and out. Their best friends listen to the Holy Spirit. Please take time to pray and know what you see is what you, most of the time you will get. That's right. Jerome said earlier, use your eyes and see a God person. It's not a yes person. That's right. See a God person that's not a yes person as in a counselor.
Yeah. So
man.
Can we talk about, so first of all, I want to talk about spirituality, but I also want to talk about, I just want to make a comment. You are in control of what space you're in, right? So if you want to be in a positive space, you're in control of that. The other person does not control that. I may be a therapist, but I'm always learning. Another lesson I recently learned, I am in control, and I already knew it, but sometimes we slip up a little bit. Yeah, of course. You need a little refresher. You need a little booster shot sometimes.
Of course.
So yeah, you are in control of the space that you are in. If I choose to be in a happy space, that's exactly where I'm going to be. But let's talk about spirituality, right?
Yeah.
Stigma. How much time do we have, Sharon? Do you know I can talk?
So we have 6 minutes to complete the hour, but we can always continue. Okay.
I can do it. Okay. So with spirituality, let's talk about the stigma, especially in the Black and brown communities. We believe that we can just pray it away, right? Look,
right.
I'm all about God. Absolutely, you should pray. You should 100% pray every day. I believe God is able. He can do everything and anything above what you can imagine. 100% believe that. You should always 1000% pray. But
Yes.
faith without works is dead. Okay. Let's not choose the part of the Bible that you want to go by. Okay. So God wants you to do some work behind that faith as well. He did not create me in all of my beautiful glory for absolutely no reason. Right. So he's going to do some signs. Right. So let's just say you don't know that you're dealing with something. God's going to send you in, but you're praying. You're praying hard. God is not feeling like myself. I don't know what it is. Heal me, Lord. Heal me. Fix it. Jesus, you can fix it. Right.
Right.
We've all given that 2-hand up, fix it prayer. I've done many of those. So, but he will.
Yes.
He will fix it. And let me tell you how he's going to do it. And I give this analogy all the time. He's going to send you some signs, right? So he's going to show you a TV commercial where it says, if you've been feeling like this, call this number. That's the robo. Okay, he sent you the robo. No, I'm still praying. Jesus, fix it. I saw the commercial, but I just turned TV off. Okay.
Right.
The next thing you're gonna see, he done sent you the commercial. The next thing he gonna send you, your pastor at church is gonna do a whole month of on mental health. A whole month of mental health series, like my pastor did at my church, because I did it.
That's right.
Twice a week, you got speakers, professionals speaking about mental illness at your church. And you decide to only go to maybe 1 or 2. You know what's happening. You only go to 1 or 2, but the 1 or 2 that you go to, you hear a word. But you're still praying, Lord Jesus, I heard what she said. Sharon dropped some knowledge today. Fix it, Jesus. He just sent you the speedboat. Okay, that was the speedboat. Okay, so then now your bestie called you. Hadn't spoke to your bestie in a month. Hey girl, what's going on? And your bestie tells you, hey, you know what? I just been kind of going through, but I've been seeing a therapist, and they completely normalize the therapy process for you. I'm doing so much better now. I feel so much better. Me and Jack or John, we're doing great now. We were really going through. Completely normalize it for you to where it no longer seems scary or out of the ordinary, because my bestie seeing a therapist, you know, because she's describing exactly how I'm feeling.
Yes.
But then you don't go to the therapist. She even gives you a recommendation. Now that was the cruise ship. Okay. What else do you want God to send you? He done sent you a rowboat, a speedboat, and a cruise ship, and you took none. Faith without works. He did not create me to be a therapist and call me to this field for absolutely no reason.
That's right. That's right. Y'all hear this? Don't let the rowboat, the speedboat, and the cruise ship pass you by. You're gonna get across the water one way, okay? and I love it. It's true. It's true. See, the beautiful thing is that the Bible does say that there's safety in a multitude of counsel, right? Counselors. So we want to make sure we stay safe there. And then he said that when Jesus was young, he grew in stature and in favor with God and man. Okay. So it's okay to have that favor while you're praying with God, to know he's going to answer your prayers, and that it may come through a man, woman, counseling. Whatever it is that you need, because once again, we just want to go back to the fact that your hairdresser went to cosmetology school.
Yes.
And she may actually have that calling to be able to be that comfort for you. But a clinician actually has a skill in a toolbox also. So it's nothing wrong with either one. Let's just put it together. God is an all-inclusive God. He believes in harmony. He believes in unity. And that's why we're here. So if you got the rowboat, the speedboat, and the cruise ship, I don't know what this series is on Facebook, but it's another way to travel across the water. So make sure you reach out to get the help you need. I have been to counseling. And it is eye-opening, because something that you've been letting circle in your head for days get straightened out just like this. You're like, oh, snap, that's dope. I get it. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now you move on, and that thought doesn't have to circle anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I must say, during my time of making sure that I didn't get or stay in a depressed mode, because I never been diagnosed, But I know that I could have went there. Can I say to I know I could have been there. But God just happened to catch me because I just demanded it. I demanded it. I said, God, I am not where I know I normally am. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. It's not going on right now. You have to show me something. And he gave me the toolbox. I guess he was my spiritual counselor. And then he told me to go to a physical counselor. But right then and there, he told me concentrate on my dreams. He literally made me write it down. What's important to me. And then going ahead and actually listening began to open me up. So where my heart and mind was now free to realize nobody was out to hurt me. Nobody was, well, I don't know what the purpose was, but regardless, there was hope. And there was a way that you can still live fulfilled, happy, and encouraged day to day. And then you could give it out like we're doing today. And that's why I'm so thankful that you joined us today. Before we end, and we're right at the hour, is there one last thing you'd like to share? Any advice, just another tip, anything? How can people reach you? Can you share with us your last words for us tonight?
Yeah, I like how you were so transparent just now and let us know that you have actually been to therapy. I've been to therapy before. I'm in therapy right now. Plus, I see a clinical clinician every single week for my clinical counseling. So make sure that your therapist is seeing a therapist, because we take a lot. We can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure your therapist is seeing a therapist too. That is good practice. That's so good. But I would just say, in closing, just make sure that when you are in these relationships, you are leading with love. And if you truly love the person that you are with, you're going to want to be there for them. You're going to want to stick it out and fight it out. But you have to have the proper tools to do it when you are dealing with someone who is suffering with a mental illness. So it's special care is required. A safe space is mandatory. And you have to get help from a professional. Please talk to anyone that you can talk to, but make sure you also seek out professional help so that you are getting the right information and learning the right way to be of service, because that's really what you're doing. You are helping to serve. You are serving someone else. So.
Absolutely. Yay, that is so awesome. I'm gonna read our last few comments before we close off. And so Hawanda says that we do live in our stories, and Sharon says that I'm in control of the space I'm in. I believe that's something that you had said, and we can fix it, so we're praying God fix. He's giving us the tools. He's giving us the people to fix it. And Aunt Diane says, ladies, you're doing a great job. I'm almost 79 years of age, and I'm still learning about relationships, and you are helping me. Thanks. Auntie Lady Di. You're absolutely welcome. We're all going to be learning. Look, when you stop growing, we know what happens. So we're going to keep growing. Roxanne says, 2 is better than 1. For if the one falls, the other is there to pick him up. You better bring the scripture. Yes. And Wanda says, I see that a therapist once a week as well. And Roxanne gives us some hand claps and praises the Lord. Listen,
amen.
Some people say that I'm too transparent, and to some I know I am. You gotta be different to handle me. But I also know that for those who aren't as upfront and open, there's somebody wondering if they're going through it by themselves. And you do feel like you go through stuff by yourself, but you're not. That is definitely a trick. Everybody has some type of mental health going on. I said it before, I'll say it again. We just got to know if it's healthy or if it's not, if it's good or if it's bad.
Yes.
Relationships have worked and have not worked since the beginning of time. Okay? From the beginning of time. Adam blamed Eve for making him eat, so listen, it has happened. We got brothers killing each other from the beginning. This stuff is real. And if we act like it's not, we're going to stay in the same space. And that's unfortunate when we have so much help, such as Sharon. So can you tell them how to reach out to you and seek help and, get more resources?
Yes, absolutely. So you can go to my website, which is SharonDickey.com. You can also email me. That's probably the best way. Sharon V. So V as in, it's Vanessa, but V as in Victor. So Sharon V. Dickey at gmail.com. So SharonDickey.com, or my email, SharonVDickey@gmail.com.
Excellent. You heard it here. If you know that you have been dealing with something and it's been too long and you do not want to deal with it anymore, okay, you have had the help. And I feel kind of sad. This is the end of the series, guys. But this won't be.
You did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Wow, coming from a counselor. Wow, that's awesome.
Amazing speakers, and the conversation has been great. So thank you again for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. I do want to share with you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, that this series is over, but mental health and relationships will continue. So go ahead and reach out. Get the help that you desire. I want to let you know, if you are a lady out there, what God took me through was He actually helped me to come through my situation by concentrating on the things I had put on the shelf that was on the inside of me. So all I could do was concentrate on was how unhappy I was in a relationship that I was in, if that makes any sense. So complaining about all of that, I did not have my focus on anything else. But the truth of the matter is, the minute that I changed my focus, the more I become more in line, to the point where I got so healed that I did it again. Bless the Lord. And it's all good, because here's the thing. It's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. Things happen. But I want people to actually do it with wisdom. Stand on my shoulders so you don't have to do what I did. Amen. Right? So with that being said, God help me. And this is the first time I shared this on screen. I don't know if you see it, but come through was the book that it was my 7-month journey of how to go from not feeling like myself and being super discouraged, almost like clinically depressed. Thank God I did not get there, but it was because of the 12 steps that were in here to get me through. So beyond the book, now God has blessed me to be able to help people with their own steps. So as you're seeing Sharon or any of our other therapists and doctors that have been here, mental health strategists, while you're getting those tools that I don't know about, they know about, there are steps that are practical and very simple to do to bring you out of this like cloud. That's why it's clouds on here, because the first one, it was like gray and just dark. I wish I could describe how bad it was, but I can't. All I know is that now you can come through by pursuing my dreams. And as I pursue my dreams, people begin to reach out to me and say, you know what, Sharonda, I want to pursue my dreams. I'm starting to feel better. I even talk to couples who are separated, and they're like, you know, when I say concentrate on you, it sounds selfish, but it's not. It's really for the team. They have I don't say the tools, but they have the ability to stay together, because now it's not about the other person. It's about what you are doing, what God's put inside of you. Then they say, well, okay, I'm there. Now I'm ready to date, though. That relationship was bad. I'm feeling good. I done came through. Now I'm ready for somebody else to come through. Let's go. Well, I have something for you. It's so exciting to talk about. Well, it's called Dating 3D. Dreams Divine Dating has started. It actually started November last year, but I'm just now telling everybody during the series, because we're starting our next cohort. We had one start last week, and we kind of try to do this every month just to get a few ladies to come in, become sisters, go through the same things. We all want love. There is not one person who don't want love. There might be people who don't want the same level, but everybody wants it. And so I'm going to take you through a 3-step process. That's where the 3D comes in. Get over discouragement. Know it's there, but we're going to encourage you to overcome that by fulfilling your dreams and then dating well and intentionally so you can get that dream man. Now, I'm sorry, man, we don't have a cohort for you yet. But if Sharon sticks around, we're going to do something special for you all. Like, we're just going to give you your whole thing in September. But we'll talk more about that later, right? Okay, so Dreams Divine Dating is for my woman who said, you know what, I have been discouraged. I'm not where I need to be. I do have some dreams I need to fulfill, and I do want to date successfully and intentionally. I got you, sis. Go ahead and just email me. Go to the website, dreamsglobal.com. That's DREEAMS global.com. And man, it's just so much. We have a retreat that's going to be coming up in April next year. So you sign up, you might even be able to go on a retreat, because travel is one of the things that I talked about in the book. I actually had to get out of the space, the place, the environment to get my mind together. So I just chose a really beautiful place for you guys. Bahia Mita in Mexico in April of next year. So for the people who knew me in travel, it's still there. I may not be your agent, but I'm going to definitely be your host for the retreat. And for those of you who saying, I don't want to be discouraged no more, let me help you fulfill your dreams so you don't. For those of you who say, I'm cool, just help me date, I got you. All right, we're 10 minutes after the hour, but I do want to let you know there is so much more after this, okay? So thank you, Sharon.
You are welcome.
Y'all remember, SharonDickey.com, SharonVDickey@gmail. Reach out. And then once you get that help, let me holler at you, because we're going to help you come through, fulfill your dreams, and date well. Love you guys. We appreciate you coming out. Oh, okay. I want to know when you're coming back on. Oh, that's a good question. Thanks for saying that.
When who?
For my ladies. So let's see. Me and Sharon will be working on something. Okay, so we'll keep you posted on when we're together again. But she has a TDT talk. Am I saying that right?
Yes, TDT Talk group on Facebook. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that happens.
Mm-hmm. It's every Friday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And we talk about a lot of different topics dealing with the Black community and mental health every single week. Yes,
check it out. It's really good. And one of the gentlemen that was comment earlier who let us know family and genetics, the mental health can run through it. I know that he's on there with her sometimes. And so if not every time, check that out. Check it out.
Yes,
every Friday.
That's my co-host. Yeah, that's my co-host. Okay. I don't know. We may have to keep the conversation going a little bit tomorrow. This was too good to stop.
Oh, exactly. And for me, I will actually be back next Thursday at 8 for my females only. Okay. We're going to do a free training on how you really come through something, how you really do that by fulfilling your dreams, and how you truly, intentionally, and successfully date. So sorry, guys, we won't be talking to you. So that means if you do not follow me on Dreams Global, the page, you will not be able to view it. This won't be on my personal page as it is right now. It's going to be on Dreams Global only. So ladies, if you're listening, even if it's in a replay, #replay, that's fine. But if you really want to know what I'm talking about when I say come through something by fulfilling your dreams and then intentionally and successfully dating, check it out next Thursday at 8. I'm going to give you a free training on it. And I look forward to it. Lamar says, woo, woo. Okay, come on. That's so powerful. What we focus on flourishes, good or bad. You're absolutely right. And that's why I'm so excited about it. I could have been a basket case, and I probably was for a year or so. But this is no joke. When I bring stuff to you like this, is because I know what it feels like. Period. And I don't want anybody to feel like that when you don't have to. Gosh, we got to get off this. Okay. But thank you to those who have helped me and pray for me and always thinking of me. And we're going to get off of here because I promise you I'll bring up another topic. Okay. Sharon, thank you. All right. Y'all check her out tomorrow night, TDT Talk with Lamar Miller. And we're going to check on out of here.
Good night.
Bye, y'all. We love you. Remember, ladies, someone's dreaming of you right now. Let me teach you how to get them in yours. Okay? Bye-bye. Good night.